Welcome to Keystone, Colorado, and a series of videos we're calling Everything You Ever Want to Know. And today we're going to go up to Webster Pass. In this series, we're not doing any hardcore off-roading. We're not evaluating a vehicle, but we are showing you how to go to the top of Webster Pass, which is right over there. And we're going to give you a kind of a step-by-step process of getting up there, how to do it, what it's like when you're up there, and then kind of talking about one of the scariest trails in Colorado, which is up that way as well. But let's start with where we're at, and that is Keystone, Colorado. And that right there is, of course, the mountain. And in the summertime, people mountain bike up it. That's why the gondola is running. But in the wintertime, it's a great ski area. And it's about an hour and a half up I-70 from Denver, so it's not very far. And then immediately you are in the heart of the Rockies. Now today, we'll be taking that up Webster Pass. But like I said, this isn't a review of the truck. It's more of a how-to go off-roading in Colorado. So let's get in the truck. I will show you how you get to the trailhead, and then we'll go up to the top of Webster Pass. So if you guys want to take whatever vehicle you're driving up there, you can do it as well. And yeah, this is not a very hard mountain pass. In fact, it's relatively easy. I think on our friends Onyx off-road pages, it's basically a dirt road. It's a little bit harder than that. And I would recommend something with high ground clearance because, well, there is a river crossing, which is going to be fun. But let's get in the car, and why don't you join me, and I'll show you how you too can come to Colorado and take on a really fun mountain pass. This video is sponsored by our friends at Onyx Off-Road. I use them all the time. They're actually on my phone, and the great thing about Onyx is you can download the trail maps to your phone, so when you're out of service, you still know where you're going. And best of all, if you use the code TFL, you'll get a substantial discount. Click on the link below and let's hit the road. All right, so if you're heading up to the top of Webster Pass, figure about an hour and a half from Denver up by 70, then of course to the ski area here in Keystone, Colorado. And then once you get to the ski area, what you want to do is you want to drive past it like I'm doing right here and head to Montezuma Road. Now the upside to this great Colorado mountain trail is that the road up there, and you can see it right there, zoom in on it, Montezuma Road is also extremely beautiful and scenic. So not only do you get to go experience some of Colorado's most beautiful wilderness, but this drive up to the town of Montezuma is just spectacular. And a lot of people actually cycle up to the town of Montezuma because the road basically dead ends at Webster Pass or Deer Creek in St. John. And so there's no reason to come up here. And it's about a 10-mile drive up this winding mountain road. And it's very enjoyable. And let's roll some music. And then what we'll do is speed up the drive, and then you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It's only about 3 miles from Keystone Resort to the town of Montezuma. And the way you know you're heading into town is you'll see this bomb, I'm not joking, that's kind of strung across the entrance to the town. And let me show it to you. It's right there. And there you go. And there's your bomb. And you know you're in Montezuma. I wasn't joking about the bomb. I take it doesn't have any live ordnance in it. But anyway, this is kind of a classic Colorado town. And the folks here at Montezuma don't like you speeding, so they put up speed bumps. You can see the speed limit right there is 10 miles an hour. And there's one of the bicyclists I was talking about. So I would suggest when you go through the town, you obey the speed limit. There's animals and pets, and sometimes over here the kids will set up a lemonade stand, so that might be kind of a fun little place to stop and help support the locals here. A lot of people, I should say a lot, there's not that many houses here, but some people from Denver actually have their, I'm going to call it summer places up here because in the winter this gets a lot of snow. Now, one of the more interesting trails up here, if you were to not do Webster Pass, is a trail called St. John. And the way that you would get to that is you would go to this T intersection where the truck in front of us is stopping and hang a right after the speed bump. And that eventually can go up and over and back down to another trail called Deer Creek, or you could take that all the way down into Breckenridge if you were so disposed. Let me show you. So St. John right, Deer Creek straight, and then of course Webster Pass straight. So yeah, zip through the town here, take it nice and easy, and then this actually ends, if you were to stay on this road, at Deer Creek trailhead, which does a giant loop and comes back down St. John. But we're gonna go left instead of straight very soon and end up at the beginning to the Webster Pass trail. Oh, a lot of cars today. The thing about Colorado is we have a lot of great off-roading, but it's only accessible maybe 3 to 4 months a year because we get so much snow. So unlike Moab, where you can actually go almost year-round, here in Colorado, we don't have that ability. And I'm not sure if I'll be able to go down the backside of Webster Pass today, because usually way into the summer there's a giant snowdrift, and I'll show you that once we get to the top. About a mile up from the town of Montezuma, you'll see this sign. Webster Pass, Deer Creek is straight. This is where you're going to make the left turn to get to the Webster Pass trailhead, and you'll see a bunch of guys here and gals airing up, I take it, because they're coming down. Hey guys! Hi, how are you?
Hi.
How's the trail? Can you get through it? Can you get over that creek? Is it running too deep or is it pretty good?
No, we all got through it.
No problem? Okay. And when you get to the top of Webster, do you have that snowdrift? Can you get past that?
There wasn't, you can't go, Webster Pass is closed.
It's closed because of snowdrift, yeah.
But at the top, you can park there at the
Okay,
top.
all right. Thank you very much. I love the Broncos, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ford fan. All right, take care. Have a good day.
Have fun.
Yeah, thanks, man. I love you guys. This is so cool. Yeah.
Do you love this thing?
I love this thing, yeah.
How long have you had it?
2 months?
2 months?
Yeah. I don't think it's quite as capable as that. The wheelbase is a little bit too long, but almost.
But you're narrower than us a little bit.
A little bit narrower, a little bit longer,
Yeah.
about the same. You guys rolling on 35s or 33s? The 33s?
I think these are 33s.
Yeah.
Mine back there is 37s. But
Sweet.
I think stock is 30.
Yeah. This is stock. I'm on 33s,
Yeah.
but it's got front and rear lockers, so it does really well. Very similar to the Bronco.
I sold my full-size Raptor, so I'm thinking about.
It's good. For 57, it's a hell of a bargain.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good day, guys. Yeah. Oh, I'm in two-wheel drive. I should probably switch it over. So I'll do it at the trailhead. Switch it over to the right mode because this does have a variety of modes. But I do tend to drive around just in 2 high for the most part. And the great thing about the Ranger, and this is not a review of the vehicle, is that you can have both 2 high and 4 high so it doesn't crab, which is nice in the winter. And then let's say if you were here maybe a month ago, this all would have been closed. We get that much snow up here, and I'm not a big fan of snow wheeling. If you've been watching TFL Off-Road, you know that I tried to take our Cybertruck up St. John a while back, maybe a month ago, and I hit snow. And it's just a good way to slide off the trail and get stuck. And then while there are a lot of people here today, I would recommend one kind of big piece of safety equipment if you do a lot of off-roading like we do at TFL. And I'll show that to you when we stop and we put this vehicle in the right modes. But I've only been on the road for about, I'd say 15 minutes since we left Keystone. So it's not that far from a major ski area, which has all the benefits of a major ski area, like restaurants and housing. So you could rent the place up here and then just explore the trails right around Keystone, because there are a lot of them. And we'll be exploring them in this series of videos. And like I said, these are more how-to videos than vehicle review videos. So I appreciate you kind of joining me on this trip. The one thing you do want to know when you come up here is stay on the main road. There's a lot of little roads that go left and right. People live up here. You know, so you can see the no parking sign. If you can see it. See the no parking sign right there. Look, you know, there are mountain folk. And mountain folk have, you know, a lot of things to worry about, like grizzlies and black bears and, you know, being kind of out by themselves. So it's always a good idea not to go into someone's personal private drive, like right there, you know, private road. You can see the fact that Webster Pass is clearly marked to your right. And this is where it starts to get a little bit off-roady. Now, what would I recommend for this trail? I mean, certainly a high clearance vehicle like the Bronco. And keep in mind, this guy just did the right thing. When you're off-roading uphill, which I'm doing now, has the right of way, so he moved over. That was really nice. Thanks for moving over. Really appreciate it, guys. Oh, thanks, man. Thank you. Yeah, you know, just know the rules of the road when you're going up here. Now, I'm not airing down. You might be wondering, why am I not airing down? Because it just takes a long time. And you really don't, for this trail, you really don't need to air down. And I've got really great 2.5-inch Fox active suspension on this truck, and it makes this road, which is really a dirt road at this point, very smooth and easy. But right here is kind of the official trailhead. This is about as far as you could get when you're going to Webster Pass. That's the gate right there, and you're not going to get, you know, past that. Let's say from, depends when it first snows, but it could be as early as September. If we're lucky, we could maybe off-road through October, and then it stays closed all the way through, usually at least the 4th of July when it opens up. But let me kind of give you a quick walk around of my choice of off-roaders today. And each of these videos, we're going to use a different off-roader, kind of show you and the benefits of that. So this is the new Ranger Raptor. It's a bargain when it comes to kind of Raptors. It's $57,000. So compared to the Bronco Raptor and compared to the Raptor, and of course the top dog Raptor R, this is by far the cheapest. But it has front and rear lockers. It's got about 10 inches of ground clearance. Obviously KO3s, very good off-road tires, and active Fox suspension. The only potential downside to something like the Bronco or the Wrangler is that it's a little bit longer, and so the breakover is going to be a little bit of an issue, but nothing on this trail that this vehicle can't handle. So Ford did this really nice thing where you can just pick the right mode by using this little dial, and then it does everything else for you. So let me kind of give you the options here. That's normal. That's off-road. That's shifting into four-wheel drive now. That's my typical off-road mode. But I can also do Baja mode. Won't be doing your rock crawling. But I think I'll just go into regular off-road mode. And then if I do want to soften up the suspension, I can do that. And right now it's in the right suspension. It's kind of the Baja suspension. Then if I really want to get obnoxious, I can change my exhaust to Baja for off-road use only. So why not? Let's have a little bit of fun. That's what the truck is for. So you'll see a lot of people on side-by-sides up here. Of course, 4x4. And, you know, just be courteous when you're coming up here. You don't want to necessarily go around a blind corner. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. And people usually tell you how many there are coming down. So there's going to be 3 of these. So I'll just keep my eye open. But now I'm in off-road mode. So it gives me a little bit of softer suspension. And here comes the other one. probably should have waited for him, but luckily he's not that wide, so I could probably just move over and let him by. Even though I'm going up, I've got a little bit more space over here to let him by, so I'll move over. And I just, yep, and that raised fist means that he's the last one. Nice. He's got his girl on there. That's a lot of fun out here. So let's talk about kind of, what kind of a vehicle you could bring here. So you could certainly do like a Bronco Sport here. You could do probably a Subaru Crosstrek on this trail, maybe in a Forester, an Outback. It's not all that hard. But like I said, it's always better to bring something that's more capable than less capable. And I've got a bunch of vehicles coming down now. Oh gosh, how are we going to do this? Yeah, let me stop rolling here and let me get these guys out of the way. Maybe they're going to move out. Oh, they're going to move and let me go by. That's really nice. And as you can tell, it's a pretty narrow trail. And that's the nice thing about this truck is it's pretty narrow. They're letting me by. They know the rules of the road, which is really sweet of them to do. Oh, and I've got these guys on. My little parking sensor, so I'm going to turn those off so they don't beep on me. And, you're going to pinstripe your vehicle coming up here, so just, be aware of that. I'm going to pinstripe it right there. But if you're not willing to, get a little bit of pinstriping on your vehicle, then you probably should get an older vehicle. See? There it goes. Look at that. Hey, thank you very much for moving out of the way. Really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, thank you. And here we got, look at that, Broncos and Jeeps side by side. What is this world coming to? Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. So this trail is just rocky at the start here. And if you don't like head bob, then get yourself a side by side because they have up to 24 inches of suspension travel, which makes this much more comfortable. And of course, airing down would make it a lot more comfortable too. But I don't think you need to air down on this trail. We've done some very hard trails, and when it gets serious, steep and deep, we definitely air down. But kind of for the sake of brevity and for the sake of video production, we didn't air down. And I know a lot of people comment on, you should air down. And they're right, but I didn't. So, feel free to criticize me for that. The main thing, of course, is, that old Land Rover saying, as slow as possible, as fast as necessary, or something like that. Anyway, I always get that wrong. The trick there is, this is not a Baja trail. We're not in the wide open area. And so when you come up here, you can see that you can't see around this next corner. If I were to come flying around that corner and there's somebody in a side-by-side or, somebody in a Raptor R, it's going to be ugly. So, just take your time, look at the wildflowers, which there are tons of, and just enjoy the ride. So what I'm going to do is shut up here. I'll let you kind of listen to the music, and I'll stop at the little stream crossing, which is, kind of where you probably might want a high clearance vehicle. Now we've reached the next point that you have to go right instead of left. If you go straight that way, you end up going, everything in Colorado ends up at a mine, but you'll end up at a mine, and a lot of people go camping up there. But the trick here is, when you get to this beautiful open meadow, you want to go right across this stream. And this is where I think it's good to have a high clearance vehicle, just because, you don't want to get water in your engine. And then if you do this in the spring, especially if it's open early, it gets pretty deep, and you can potentially flood your vehicle. But let me see if I can get this camera across to the other side so we can get some video of the truck going through the stream. Now, you don't want to splash. It's really not cool to splash. It doesn't help the folks who do off-road. It just, gives people a reason. Just gives people a reason to try to shut these trails down. So let me see if I can make it across. Sometimes you can kind of walk across the rocks here and get the camera on the other side. Or if I had a videographer, I could drive them across and back across. But that's not going to happen because it's just running a little too high. And I can't quite get across here without getting pretty wet. But we'll wait for the Jeep that's coming down right there from Webster Pass to go through here. And then I'll take the truck through and we'll keep going up. Now, if you're wondering, my watch says we're at 11,031 feet. So, we are going to go up to about 12,000 feet above sea level. And when you get that high, things like breathing become a little bit more difficult, especially if you're running around. So if I'm out of breath, it's because both I'm out of shape, but more importantly, it's because we are at 12,000 feet above sea level. So let me see. I think they can get by the truck. It's kind of in the road here. So let me move it really quickly so they can get past me. Howdy. And then we'll watch them go through and over the stream. Now, the etiquette, of course, is that side-by-sides are just much quicker than even dedicated off-roaders. And so usually it's good if you are in a situation like this where you have, a Jeep with a side-by-side, let the side-by-side go because they can go a lot quicker. So you can see how deep it is. So probably a good 12 inches, maybe 18. Howdy. And of course, here comes the side-by-side. He's also filming, but it's, it's almost to the top of his wheels, not quite. Howdy. I do love side-by-sides. They've changed the way of off-roading. They've brought a lot more people out here because, they're a lot more comfortable and just a lot more capable. But let's cross a little river here, a little stream, and head on up. Here we go. So I've done a lot of adventure riding on motorcycles, and of course the rule of thumb when you're on a motorcycle is you want to know how deep it is and if there's anything you could hit on the bottom. I didn't necessarily do that here because first the water is clear so you can see the bottom, but secondly I've gone up Webster Pass probably a dozen times now, so I know how deep it is. But if that were a stream or river that you didn't know how deep it was, you shouldn't probably take your vehicle into it, because the worst thing that can happen is the vehicle starts to float, and they do, and then you're floating down the river until you're not, and then you're stuck, and then you're in the middle of nowhere with a very expensive and potentially life-threatening situation. So it gets a little rougher when you go over the stream here. The rocks get a little bit pointier, they get a little bit bigger, but in general it's still a beautiful trail. And like I say, any relatively capable 4x4 could do this, but I always like taking something that makes it easy instead of something that makes it challenging, because I've spent the last 5 years making things challenging, and I'm getting to the point where I don't like that anymore. Now, if you're wondering where we're going, we're way up there. So that is the top of Webster Pass. I think there's a vehicle up there. You can kind of see him. He's right there. He's right. Let me show you this way. He's where are you? There I can just see a little tiny vehicle up there. And that's where we're going to end up. And there's a Jeep behind me and a Jeep in front of me, so I better get going. I'll be quiet again, and then I'll let you enjoy the trail. Well, these guys in the scrambler were kind enough to point out the fact that I just blew by 3 moose. So let me show them to you. They're in the meadow. There's one right there. You can see him. He's kind of just hanging out. There he goes. He's walking now. And then there's 2 more that are behind that bush back there, but you can't see. But let's look at the one right there, because that guy you can really see. And here's a fun fact. Moose hurt more people in Colorado than bears. So it's good to give them a lot of space. And I'm waiting for the guys behind the bush to pop up. But there he goes. And just look how stunning this is. Another reason to come out here. So yeah, would have missed those moose. But you saw one of them. The other 2 were kind of hiding behind a bush. But it was nice of those people to point them out. And gosh, this is such a gorgeous day. And like I said, we only have a few months of actually off-roading. So there's a lot of people up there on Webster. And I asked him, I said, can you go down Webster? And he said, yeah, the snowbank is melted and you can probably go down the other side of Webster. And actually that's kind of the more butt clenchy part of this pass, because then it turns into a shelf road. And I did that once with Tommy when we had our old Raptor. And I will never do it again because I was inches away from going off the side of the trail. And I have to tell you, the kryptonite in my world are shelf roads, like Black Bear Pass. That's probably the most well-known one in Colorado. I just don't enjoy them. I don't need that much butt crunchiness in my life. For me, this is perfect. It gets you away, gets you into the beauty of Colorado without, getting your heart rate up and making you fear for your life. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because there's certainly a place in that for off-roading. And I'm about to show you the scariest trail in all of Colorado. Much scarier than Black Bear. Much more challenging in a lot of ways than like Carnage Canyon, which is just technically very difficult. And for me, my kryptonite, because I've never done it, and maybe this year I'll do it, but not today. But I will show it to you. At about mile 7, you're going to come to a fork in the road. There's going to be this trail, 286, and then there's going to be this trail. Do not take that trail. That is Radical Hill. My kryptonite. The most butt-clenchy trail in all of Colorado, and I will show you why in a second. So definitely don't go right, but go left. Because if you go right, you're going to be in for quite the adventure. And in this series, we're not trying to go anything that would scare, let's say, your average person from Illinois, or Ohio, or Florida. And that would definitely scare your average person, not from any of those states, from Colorado, California, or Utah. So don't go up there. There's another little kind of hard way you can get up there. Avoid that. Stay to your left. There's a little bit of a creek crossing. And in a second, I will show you. Why did this keep turning back on? Stop turning on. Just do what I say. Thank you. And now I lost my camera. So cameras, there we go. We're back to cameras. But we're usually not this green in Colorado. The reason we're this green is because we've had a lot of rain, which is wonderful. We get a lot of forest fires here, and it's nice not to have to worry about them. That might not be the case very soon. It does get drier as we get later in the year. But for right now, it's very green. Now, where the side-by-side is, that's a little campsite. You can see where the campfire, we parked right in front of where the campfire is, but this is a nice little place to camp. And let me see if I can, howdy, how are you? No. You're out of the picture, and that's all right. I'll keep going higher because I want to show you where that other trail goes, and we'll have to have a serious conversation about Radical Hill because it is a serious trail. But let me go a little bit higher, get closer to Webster Pass, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's talk about the Jeep Wrangler and the sports bar. Now, the reason the Wrangler has a sports bar, and that's what Jeep calls not a roll bar, is because if you roll it, it will pancake. And that's exactly what happened a few years ago when a guy went up Radical Hill and didn't make it. And I'll show you that in a second, but first, let me show you where we came from. We came from way down there. Look how beautiful that is. Now, if you were to make a right where I told you you shouldn't make a right, you'd be following this trail up, 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 easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then it gets a little trickier. It starts to kind of serpentine, and then it goes up this way, and then let me zoom in. It ends up right there, and if you look very closely, you can see 3 or maybe 4 Jeeps up there, and then you can see that snowdrift. So that is Radical Hill, and why that is so scary, and I don't think they're going to make it up because you got to go past that snowdrift and straight up to go to the top. And I don't think they're going to make it up because it looks like that snowdrift is in the way. But what makes it so scary is that most shelf roads are flat, right? Just like that. But Radical Hill is cambered kind of down the mountain. So you're going up a side of a mountain, looking down the side of a mountain, and if you get it wrong, you will roll. And that's exactly what happened to that Jeeper a few years ago. He was up there, and then there's a part kind of where those Jeeps are at. There's a little cabin up there. You can kind of see it where it gets extremely narrow, and I think when he hit that part, he basically rolled down the hill. Boom, 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 boom. He had a dog with him. The dog got ejected. He was hurt, but he did survive. The dog came trundling into town a few days later, but the roll bar, sports bar on the Jeep completely pancaked. And I got to tell you, I am not brave enough to go up there. Now, if you know anything about Colorado, you'll note that the most famous trail, the one that's probably the most infamous, is called Black Bear. Basically about 2,000 feet above Telluride. You're looking down in Telluride, and it's also a shelf road. And I've done it twice now, and it's nothing compared to Radical Hill. So if you guys, really want to test your mettle, then that is something that you can try. I would not recommend it. I'm not brave enough. And you may be wondering, how do I know what it's like? Well, if you go to the very top of it, the trail actually above that little snowdrift up there connects to the other trail at the bottom in Montezuma called Deer Creek. And then you can go down Deer Creek and back into Montezuma. So I've driven to the top and I've kind of walked down there. And even walking down there, I was scared. So it is definitely not for the faint of heart, and not something you want to try lightly. Maybe I'll punch my ticket before, I leave this earth and go up there. But today, we're going to go up to the top of Webster Pass up there, and we'll see if that snowdrift is passable. But you don't really want to go past the snowdrift because that takes you down kind of to South Park, and then it's not that difficult. It is a little shelfy, but it takes you down, unfortunately, kind of to South Park, and then it's a long way back to Breckenridge or back to Keystone. It makes for a long day. And right now, like I say, we've only gone maybe 8 miles so far, and we'll be at the top in maybe another 2 miles, and then I can just go back down to Keystone as opposed to spending the whole day. Not that there's anything wrong with spending the whole day, but for this video, I think that's enough. All right, here come some more vehicles coming down. Let's see what kind of vehicles we got. I'm always curious to see what people bring up here. I definitely see a Land Rover. You can tell by the headlight pattern. Can you guys see what those are yet? Can you guess the make? It's kind of fun. They look pretty seriously off-roady, but let's jump in the truck and we'll have them go by, and we'll see what they have. Yeah, definitely a Land Rover. Jeep, another Land Rover. And then I don't know what that first vehicle is. I'll know in a second. But Don't know what it is yet. So let's find out. As they come by me, I'll let them by. Give them a little bit more room over here. And we'll keep going up. The one thing I have noticed about the Ranger, which is a little bit pain in the butty, is that every time you turn it off, it defaults, unless you let it know that you want to stay in off-road mode, back to normal use, and that's no fun. All right, yeah, so another LR3, I believe. There they come. I'll let them come by me. Tommy's rig, lifted. One of the best, I think, Land Rovers ever. Howdy. Love your car. A Discovery, which is underrated. Look at that, another LR3. Oh my God. And these guys have air suspension, so they have cushy rides. Love the LR3. And not one, but 2 Jeeps. Rent RV Co. So it looks like some tourists here in Colorado, and finally another Jeep with a rooftop tent, a winch, and some KCs. Nice looking rig. All right. Well, let's head on up. I think there's one more car coming, but this trail is pretty big. I'm sure we can find a way to pass each other. Maybe I'll let him go by. There might be a side-by-side. He's hauling butt. Probably let him go by. See what that sign says while we're waiting for him. Alpine Tundra. Oh, no kidding. That's another thing. You do want to stay on the trail. It's not a side-by-side, it's a Jeep. You do want to stay on the trail because it is detrimental to all of us if you guys go off trail. Just makes for an excuse for them to close this down. Now, the other thing I would say is if you're going to do this right now, what time is it? Let's look. 3:41. What ends up happening here is that the storms start moving in. You get lightning, and you can see the clouds forming right now. So you don't want to be up on the trail late, because you could get hit by lightning. You can see the clouds moving in. So let's head up there, and then thank you. Let's head up there and turn around and go back down, because I don't want to. I've been up here in the middle of a snowstorm. I've been up here in the middle of a lightning storm, and that was on my motorcycle, and that was freaking terrifying. Look at that. Oh my God. But the clouds are moving in. So let's head to the top. Let's show you the view. All right, we're 5 minutes from the top, and that, my friends, is right there. You can see some people up there. That is the way down from Red Cone. That is a one-way, and we'll do this video for Red Cone as well, but that's for another day. But I gotta tell you, look at the view, look at this view, and then it looks like those Jeeps have made it past that snowdrift. You can kind of see them right there. You can see all 3 of them, and then they just got to hang a left and then go straight up. So I am not worthy of those off-roaders, but I am certainly happy to be up here and enjoying my beautiful day today with you guys, heading to the top of Webster Pass. Now we just got to go up this trail, and we're going to hit the top of Webster, and I'll show you what it looks like on the other side, and then see if I can walk around here. You can't quite see Red Cone, but that's the trail up Red Cone, and right now that's a one-way, because you do not want to hit somebody coming down going up that, and that's much steeper than it looks, believe me. Oh my God, they made it to the top of Radical Hill. I am so very much impressed, and you can see them way up there, very much. Let me see if I can use this to point my sunglasses. So they're right there, and then let me zoom out so you have a sense of what they went up. Yeah, That's what they went up. Incredible. Now these guys are coming down from Red Cone. That is much steeper than it looks on camera. Let me zoom out, let me zoom back in. But we'll head there because we're gonna meet up. So let me go to the top. We're almost at the top of Webster Pass. And you can see that they're just kind of slowly crawling down because you are definitely being held in place when you're coming down that by your seatbelts. So you're hanging from your seatbelts. That is definitely one way. And I've seen people in side-by-sides go up that. Please don't. There's no place to pass, like I said. But we are here. This is the very top of Webster Pass. And let's park and let's see if you can go up and over Webster Pass. But let me show you what it looks like up here. There are the Jeepers coming down. And there is the top of Red Cone. You can probably tell why it's called Red Cone. And there's a bunch of people up there right now. Just a beautiful day in Colorado, so a lot of people are taking advantage of it. But let's see the altitude. Let's look what the sign says over here. So Webster Pass, elevation 12,003 feet. There's my trusty Ranger Raptor. Made it up here, no problem. That is the valley that we have come down. So we started out way down there. And that's not that far. It's only about 8 miles since we left Keystone. So it's not that hugely far. And then head on over to this sign. And you can see it's quite plainly marked. Do not enter, one way. And then over here we have Red Cone and Handcart Gulch Road, Jefferson. So this is the snowdrift I was talking about. It's always here, especially in the spring. And this is why I can't go down that trail the rest of the journey, because unless you're on a motorcycle, chances of getting by this are less than zero unless you want a shovel. Now, I met a guy on the way up and he said, you can go by it. I guess you can go by it if you're hiking like these guys are. But maybe in a side-by-side, because look, I've got my feet about as far apart as you can. So that's, what is that? Probably 4 feet, maybe another 2 feet. So you got at most maybe 5 feet to pass. And then you can go zip, 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 down there, down there, down there, down there, and then eventually to South Park. And that is the South Park of South Park fame. So there you have it, guys. I really appreciate you spending this day with me. And I hope you learned everything you needed to know about coming up to the top of Webster Pass. Oh, this guy's flying. TFL. Hey man, thanks for watching. And hopefully, if you're from outside of Colorado or even in Colorado, this has been a helpful video. And you can come up here with whatever vehicle you decide to choose. Like I said, for the most part, it's a dirt road and I'm out of breath. But let's finish this off by doing a quick spin. Oh, look at a little geological survey, I believe. Bureau of Reclamation. Doing a quick pass. Bye, guys. And we'll see you next time. Ciao. And a mystery that you could solve. Let me know in the comments below. Why is there an outlet down here? Does it work? Is this where you charge your phone? Good spot, guys. Why is there an outlet on the top of Webster Pass? Inquiring minds want to know. And a final tip to end this video, if you have your windows open, you will get very dusty inside the vehicle, but that's okay. But I did see there was one bit of safety equipment that I like to carry with me, and it's not a winch, which is also nice to have. It's not like Max Track, but it's this. Let me pull it out. Let me pull it out. There it is. That is a satellite phone that can be used to call for help if something bad happens. So I know that's not a cheap option, but we go into so many remote places that we have a company satellite phone, and in an emergency, if all went, I would have a way to communicate with my team or with emergency services. All right, this time for real. Ciao.